at the ground floor. Two gentlemen at the door saw the need for behavioral practices at the core. Podcast, audio, video to the masses in hopes that they reach and impact the masses.
In the podcast system, thought-provoking content is considered especially heinous. In Long Beach, California, the two men dedicated to discussing these topics are members of an elite squad known as the Doormen. These are their stories.
Greetings and salutations.
And what's cracking?
And what's happening?
What's happening?
Talofa.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Well, you know, happy
holidays.
Merry belated Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, merry belated Christmas.
Happy New Year.
And soon to be a happy New Year.
All that bullshit.
But by the time this airs, it will be New Year.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to a brand new episode of The Doormen. We are your hosts.
Yep.
Evangelist.
Steven in the building.
As always. Forgive us for being on hiatus. For those of you who faithfully listen to us, we appreciate it. We haven't quite gotten things off the ground just yet.
But we have families, and it's Christmas.
But it's gravy.
So back off.
But no, we absolutely appreciate all of your support.
You know, I was with many of our viewers over the holidays, and not one single person asked when our next episode is coming up.
Not a single.
They're festive. They're not worried about the
work. Hey, well, we didn't get a chance to air the last episode that we tried to record, where we spoke on. Did that episode air?
I hope not, because it was shit.
The one that we spoke on, having seen all of our, a lot of our...
Oh, that episode aired.
That episode aired.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
But the one after...
The one after that.
Where we had a little bit of sound trouble.
Yeah, a little bit of technical issues. And, certain issues our producer wasn't able to...
Yeah, because he's not Spielberg.
Yeah, he's definitely not Spielberg.
We handed him shit. And he couldn't turn it into gold.
Doesn't have all of the necessary equipment, so we're still dragging ass.
But also, to be fair, though, again, we handed him a ball of shit.
Yeah.
That he could not spin into gold.
Right, and you can't shine shit.
No.
Right, because you try to shine shit, it's still shit. And
only guano.
Right. Well, let's see. Let me cover the week. Right, so. This week, the end of 2023, I decided to close out this year with a 72-hour no solid food fast. So all I'm having is liquids. So I'll have like water, of course, coffee, of course. I've done Celsius's, because I still maintain these workouts.
Celsius?
Celsius.
Is that how you... What's the plural of Celsius?
Multiple Celsius.
Celsius.
So, Celsius. Well, yeah. I still do these spin classes. Grit Cycle, shout out. So yeah, I need like my caffeine, and again, the purpose for this was a couple of things. The purpose for closing out this year with a fast was, first off, to test my mental my mental toughness, the discipline, the ability to, because anyone who knows me knows that I grub. I am an eater, like
a man on death row.
Right. And then so I just wanted to go out, do the end of the year, and just go through this little period of discipline. 72 hours. As a matter of fact, this 72 hours will be ending in 2 hours. So I'm hour 70 into this journey. And let me tell you, it hasn't been as hard as I thought it was going to be.
What's the most difficult time?
The most
first 24?
Yeah, I would say so. The first 24. Well, so I've done a 24-hour fast before, right? And then so the first time I'd ever done some prolonged fast, meaning over 12 hours, it was rough. My first 16-hour fast, it was kind of rough. I was like, I just need something to eat, right?
You're like, how do those Haitian children do this?
But after that initial 16-hour fast, and then I started to do it more often, it became so much easier. I began to recognize that we just don't need to eat as much as, well, I don't need to eat as much as I do. How about I say that? I don't need to eat as much as I do. I was watching episodes of Naked and Afraid like years ago. I started watching episodes of that years ago, and I was like, wow, these people can go like prolonged periods of time with nothing to eat.
Well, let me ask this question. On that show, when there's a camera crew and a production crew, when the cameras and the lights go off, do you really think that they just leave them in the woods?
I don't know.
Or do they just go back to the studio?
I don't know.
And
but
have a
what
barbecue?
I do know is that they begin with a certain weight, with a certain body weight. And at the end of that 21 days, usually they've lost tons of weight. So it tells me a couple things. Either it's real and they're not actually eating as much as usual, or they're the bulimia going on during that period of time is going crazy.
When they sign the contract, they're like, look, you're going to be bulimic for the next 6 to 8 months.
Right, we'll let you eat, but you got to puke it all out.
But you're going to throw it out.
But yeah, so yeah, 2 more hours, and then I go hard in the paint at Jollibee's. The plan is we leave here after this recording, go purchase 2 buckets of Jollibee's with some gravy, Jollibee's chicken, spicy, and my wife has made some mashed potatoes because although Jollibee's mashed potatoes may be good, I prefer.
They're pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, so it's been a great 70 hours. I've realized things like this, right? Hard things in life often like reveal yourself to yourself. You start to realize who you are, what you're made of, right? How strong you truly, not just how strong you are, but what you can overcome mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And then, so, man, I personally believe that you absolutely need to find these things to do, these hard, difficult things to push yourself through. And it'll reveal yourself to yourself.
Sure.
And then, so as you reveal yourself, then you can, if there's something that you'd like to change, then of course you got to make some adjustments. That's what all of this is doing for me, right? And then so far, as of the 70 hours in, I feel good. I feel happy that I'm able to push through something like this. Because again, everybody knows I fucking eat like nobody's business. So awesome, and a lot of prayer. That's what I will say. Tons of prayer during this thing, right?
Well, to follow your lead, I've been going on a 6.5 hour fast.
Nice.
Haven't eaten since lunch.
You got to start somewhere.
True.
You just can't jump.
But I was thinking when you brought it up, there's been some times when I will eat a light lunch and go home and just not feel like eating. So I guess by default, me not choosing to make something to eat when I get home,
cool.
I'm fasting and not really understanding.
Sure.
And not eating again until the next day of lunch.
But
so,
there are benefits by the hour. If you Google fasting benefits by the hour or benefits of fasting hourly, after about 12 hours of no food, all of your carbohydrates that you've eaten are already burnt up. And then after 14 hours, there's something. After 16 hours, there's something. After
delusion, paranoia. For me, anyway.
They say after about 24 hours, autophagy sinks in.
What
Right?
the fuck is
is when your body goes in and it starts to eat itself.
Oh.
Right? But it's not a bad eating itself, right? Of course, it's going to go in and feed on some of the muscle mass. And of course, it's going to feed on some of the fats. But it also feeds on some of the bad cells that you have in you. So any toxins that have just bad cells in general, because your body's got producing bad cells, I guess.
Sure.
And so it goes in and it just eats them up. I'm not a doctor, But of course, I've done like a little bit of research on this, and so that's what I've found out. But yeah, again,
This is also not our main topic of discussion
not at
tonight,
all,
folks.
not at all, guys. This is just
Because I would have zero to bring to this conversation.
this is just an intro, guys. This
Yes.
is just me talking about.
I don't want people to start fast forwarding thinking, where's the content?
Hey, but come on, hey, for you guys who are looking to put yourself through something difficult, try it fast.
Yeah.
Start with a 24-hour, if possible.
Start with a
12
12 hour.
Start with a 12-hour. 12 hours is good.
And then once you get past that, just be like, oh, there's only 12 more hours.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, and a lot of it is sleep. A lot of it is during sleep, right? So you can include your 8 hours of sleep into that fast.
So really, there's only 4 hours left.
No, there's actually 2 hours, 1 hour and 58 minutes.
No, I mean, if you did a 24 hour.
Oh yeah. Wait.
If you did 12 hours, you'd only have 4 hours left of not eating before you eventually passed out from the hunger.
From hunger. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Okay. If you look at it that way.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
There's always a flip side of the coin.
Absolutely.
Bright side, real side, whatever side.
Mm-hmm. Hey, so let's talk about your Christmas though. How was it?
Amazing. Mm-hmm. Kids got a lot of stuff. I realize as you get older, you don't ask for the
older I get,
the cool stuff, the iPads,
right,
the electronics,
right,
the game stuff. You ask for things like bed sheets, towels, socks, stuff like that.
Yeah,
which is what I got.
Socks.
And blankets.
Oh, bed sheets, towels.
Bed sheets, towels, blankets.
Nice.
Gift cards, cash.
Yes, please. Sign me up.
Shelby got some AirPods.
Nice.
But the kids racked up, man. Adam got a Spider-Man motorcycle that he can actually ride on.
Nice.
Just will not give it up.
Nice. Wait. So powered, how? Is it electric?
Power wheels. You know, like the power
yeah. Oh, awesome.
Hits a button for forward, stomps the pedal, and he's gone.
Power wheels.
Power wheels.
Yeah, so I mean, great Christmas. Was it like multiple homes visited?
Oh, every fucking year it's multiple stops.
Multiple homes.
Every year.
So Uncle Mark's.
No
Hemet this year?
Hemet. I went to Hemet. And then back to wherever.
Shelby's family?
Shelby's family.
Oh, nice. First time with Shelby. This is their first.
It's our first
Christmas?
official one.
Christmas. Yeah. Living together.
Yes.
Awesome.
Couldn't be any better.
Nice.
A little more room, but
It's coming.
other than that, yeah.
coming. It's
On its way.
Our Christmas was fantastic. So first we spent Christmas Eve. So our tradition in my family is we do Christmas Eve, and then we just we open gifts at midnight on Christmas Eve to Christmas. But this year we started Christmas Eve off with my aunt celebrating her 60th birthday.
Hey, happy birthday.
Oh my God. My Auntie Lima, shout out to my Auntie Luz Fulu Lima. She's just awesome aunt. Her children put on this 60th birthday celebration. Oh my God. I was floored. I was impressed. We're really big on, gathering our family, right? And then so, my parents started off this tradition where, my mom and her siblings would gather, and then we just, would just enjoy all of our cousins, just enjoy being, and then so we kind of continued tradition. We would hold like gatherings. On my mother's side, I haven't done as many gatherings as I should. Right, We've had one really major gathering. But my cousins, my aunt's sons and daughter, put on this awesome celebration for her birthday. It was another opportunity for us to get together with the family. Fucking awesome. It was just a lot of fun, enjoying each other's company. I mean, Seeing all of my mom's siblings together. Ooh, man, it was. Anytime, any family oriented culture out there is gonna understand what I'm saying. But my Samoan family, my Samoan culture is absolutely like family. Like we're like the mafia. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
it's just clans and families, and it's just a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, we do the Christmas Eve thing with our bigger family, and then Christmas Day with our. That's how we used to do it. Everybody at either my grandparents' house or my aunt and uncle's house, and then it was Christmas Day with your immediate family. But yeah, it's difficult as you get older, and then people have fallouts or whatever the case may be.
Sure.
And what used to be a massive gathering is now just a minimal gathering, but still time with family, still good times. My cousin had the baby that I told you about.
Yeah.
Her name is Mila.
Nice.
Tiny little thing.
Mila.
But she's a very, very cute little girl. Sleeps 23 hours a day.
Wow.
Apparently.
That is a good baby.
Yes.
But mark my words, that's going to end really soon.
Oh, I told him
My
that
granddaughter.
in my minimal experience of children around me, and I said, "Oh, don't even get used to that."
My granddaughter used to sleep a lot. Very, just a real chill baby. And I'm talking about my youngest granddaughter.
Mm-hmm.
She has definitely woken up.
You realize that
literally,
when you're awake, you
figuratively.
can play.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we finished off Christmas Eve at my brother's house. So we went from my aunt's birthday celebration to my brother's brand new house.
Nice.
Out there in Fontana. Shout out Aaron.
Fontucky.
His wife, him and his wife coined the Langford Five. Because there's five,
Right.
They got 3 kids. So we had just a blast out there. Just an awesome time enjoying his new house. My sister Chelsea just made that thing just as comfortable as, dude, it's like a cozy Christmas house.
Yeah.
It was like Home Alone
It's like from a Hallmark movie.
with 15 of us.
Yes.
It was awesome, man. And then, we do my wife, we came home in the morning on Christmas, and my wife cooked up this beautiful meal, invited my kids over and my grandkids, and, well, my kids came. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, everybody came. Everybody came. Yeah. Everybody came. Yeah, it was just, I'm having a brain fart.
If Angie came, I would assume that the children came with her.
Yeah, everybody's here. Such an awesome time, man. Such a great celebration. But yeah, that was Christmas. Fantastic.
Can't beat it.
Yeah. About to close out this year. Pretty.
What are your New Year's plans?
Oh, New Year's, it's Suge's birthday
Oh, shit.
on New Year's Eve.
Oh, my God.
And this is the first time my wife and I and my son are going to go to the birthday celebration.
To Shugs.
To Suge's on Sunday. And, he said, you're always invited. So,
Uh-oh.
yeah, so we're headed over there Sunday. So it should be an awesome
Might have to swing by.
swing by.
Really expose Shelby to the party.
Yeah, well, it's
Oh, my
gonna be
God.
a good time, man. It's gonna be a great time.
Oh, my God. I don't think she's not ready.
Yeah, it's always a great time, man. Just being with family, bro. I can't stress enough, like, all the things that we need in life have to include that. You have to include an inner circle that
Sure.
you are just adored by, and you adore them.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have your, we've said it before many times on the podcast, and I think with my family, it's exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we add people outside of the family circle, and like yourself, and you become family.
Right.
So it's just this awesome. It's this awesome dynamic, man. I hope all of you listeners out there have yourself a great inner circle, and You know, if you don't have it, go and nurture it. Go and nurture one.
Sure.
So, you know, that's that. That is the week in review.
And that's the episode. We'll see ya.
Well, I mean, shit, a lot to cover.
Yeah. That was a lot.
So
well, it's the holidays.
Yeah.
And we're down we're behind an episode.
We are definitely behind an episode.
We have some catching up to do.
Absolutely.
And again, I said it before. If you don't like it, move on. Get out of here.
I mean, we definitely hope for your support, though, man. We pray for your support. But you know, this is a good thing for us, right? This, you know, people go and you know, you always hear these ads for therapy. Oh man, better. What is it called? Better Health is one of these therapy commercials I always hear. Oh, go and you know, Better Health. You know, everyone needs someone to talk to. I talked to Steven on the camera.
Yeah, and
I feel good after.
That's true. There's something to be said.
He's my therapist.
There's something to be said about having discussions like this, because organically it develops into like an opinion or something that you may or may not be going through. It just organically develops into the conversation.
Yeah.
Right. Like you bring up, you know, family, and there's certain aspects of my family, certain people don't talk to certain people, and it blows my mind when you think about like the long term, right? You're going to hold on to some shit that happened 60 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? It's just like, why?
Right.
Like, put it aside. You don't got to be best fucking friends, but, you know, put it aside.
You know, one thing I say about family, though, you know, I'm always talking about God and things like that. But I truly believe your family, no matter what, God intended that to be your initial programming.
Right.
There was a reason that you were born to the people that you were born to. Absolute. Now, whether it's a good or there's a good or bad result or outcome from it, you know, that's for you to discover.
Navigate.
Discover,
right.
Then navigate through it,
right.
Or navigate, you know, with it.
Right.
But yeah, it's absolutely something that you have to discover.
You know, it's funny you bring this up, kind of as we do, as we're so good at segueing into the topic of the conversation.
Absolutely.
I saw a video. It's this Asian female, younger female.
Okay.
Saying that she's Jackie Chan's daughter.
Oh, yeah.
And she's been homeless for a long time because of homophobic parents.
Yeah.
And they show her girlfriend, and, you know, like that kind of situation, like when you put that out there and you're trying to get sympathy, like you're posting this video using a cell phone with the roof over your head in the background, and you don't look disheveled, you don't look hungry, you damn sure don't look hungry.
You don't look like you're outside.
You don't look like you're doing this for like clicks, right? Or baits that have like certain things that are going to get you pity or whatever the case may be, right? And it frustrates me because like you put that out there with no context, right? No, we don't know the story, and we shouldn't have to know the story between Jackie Chan and his daughter. It's none of our fucking business.
Sure.
But when you put it out there and you open the world to your personal shit like that, I think it's kind of a chicken shit move.
Yeah. Well, okay. This is my thought on it, right? And I'm not here to cast any judgment on anyone, right? As we said, your family is definitely the people that I believe God blessed you with, and blessed them with you, right? So it's a gift, right? Now, what happens on the day-to-day, we don't know, right? But again, it's up to you to discover, navigate, blah, blah, blah. The thing with this Jackie Chan and his daughter situation, if that is his daughter, if she is homeless and then she's blaming it on having homophobic parents, he's the man of a household. Now, as soon as you as a child, right? As soon as you as a child start to make decisions for yourself that are against that are against the decisions that he, the man of the household, make for him. It's you are, you know, you lose.
Right.
You lose that ability to call that your, you know, you lose the ability to call that your home because you're no longer abiding by the rules.
Right.
Right? It's like if someone were to storm their way into your bedroom, and then they started to, you know, do as they pleased in your bedroom.
Right.
Right? You in no way would put up with that.
No.
Right? And you know, on a side note, children don't have their own bedroom in a household. That's the bedroom that you've been granted, you've been given by your parents, right?
Right.
But you know, this is I just use the bedroom analogy because it's supposed to be your space that you've been given charge over.
Right.
Right. But as you know, as a man of a household, we set rules, and then if the children don't abide by those rules and they are of age, then it's time to turn them away and allow them to make those decisions that they've chosen.
Right.
On their own.
Right.
On their own dime.
But also too, like if that was me personally, if that was my situation, for whatever reason, my parents disowned me for whatever reason.
Okay.
I would use that as a stepping stone for the next level of success. Just to prove them wrong. Because I've always said forever and a day, if I ever met my dad, like I would want to punch him in the face, but I probably wouldn't. I would just want to say, like, I didn't need you. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't need you to be around to show me things or whatever, because I use that as a launching pad, right? Because I didn't. And it's just like you post that video as like a poor me kind of thing, and you're supposed to get paid. Like, what do you want? What do you want him to do? See the video and be like, oh, here's $10 million? That's what you wanted.
Yeah. Well, I think, and I don't know, we see it everywhere. We see it on all of these different social media platforms, but we see products of Western civilization. When I say products of Western civilization, we see these entitled children, young adults, that have been sheltered by the structure of Western civilization, and with all of the freedoms to make all of these different choices.
And the new narrative doesn't help.
Oh, no.
Like, you can make a decision.
But again, the new narrative is it's a narrative that was developed under the shelter of Western civilization thought. Right? So people have worked hard, created infrastructures, created systems in order for these entitled young adults to do and say what they will. Right? Try to do that in one of these countries. You know, I always see that Noemi girl. She's an escapee from North Korea. She went to China, eventually came here, but she's, you know, pretty big on social media right now, and she's explaining the plight of what she went through in North Korea and all that she did to escape it, and then she only to come here to go to university to discover that kids over here are trying to promote what she escaped.
Right.
The communism. Right. Like the idea that a utopia can be created by the governing of human beings is absolutely foolish.
Right.
Human beings, we are a flawed being.
Right.
We are a flawed species, I should say.
Yeah.
Right? So the idea that we could come together and dictate rules that could create a utopia is pretty foolish. And that's exactly what communism try to do, and it continues to try to do that.
Right.
As we can see.
Right. Well, I mean, it goes to, I mean, you alluded to it earlier about like, kids making decisions and you wouldn't like, our parents have arguments where they don't get their 9-year-old a cell phone because they're not responsible enough to, not get on the internet or not download games.
Right.
But you have that same 9-year-old being able to make the decision whether or not to cut their nuts off.
Sure.
Which is so backwards. It's so unbelievable that, that the internet culture that we're trying to speak on, it says it's acceptable for a kid to make a decision like to cut a body part off. But that same kid's not responsible enough to walk to school by themselves.
Sure.
Take the school bus by themselves. Right. So
or provide for themselves.
Right.
Right. Provide. So, okay, going back to this Jackie Chan's daughter story, right? Like, okay, you make all these decisions for yourself.
Right.
Now go and live with those decisions
You made your
on
bed.
your own.
You made your bed.
Right?
Now
Because now, hey, you're responsible for all these things. You're responsible enough to make all these decisions. Now go make them away from your parent.
Right.
Right? Because it's not your parents' duty to as soon as you begin to make those decisions as an adult,
right.
It's not your parents', job, obligation anymore because you've decided to create your own reality.
Right.
Right? You just can't expect people to play along. And that's the problem with this internet culture.
Right.
Right? They sit behind, again, we've always described what happens, right? They sit behind the comforts of a keyboard and a screen. And then they they're
right.
typing away spewing all of their thoughts. Discreetly? Secretively? Anonymously. How about we say that? Anonymously.
Yeah.
They're spewing all their thoughts anonymously, expecting the world to accept it. Mm-hmm. Now, first off, you have to go and present yourself, right? Present yourself to the world, expressing these thoughts, and then be ready to receive the response.
Right.
Because that's your responsibility as well.
Right.
Like you can create all these ideas.
Sure.
But receive the response to your ideas.
Right.
And then live with that response.
Well, it's also too like there's a lot of things being based on emotion and feeling.
Oh, absolutely.
Like laws being made based on feelings.
So temporary.
And it's you could say how you felt on Monday morning is polar opposite what you felt on Monday night.
Right.
Can you imagine a law being put into rotation based on a feeling that you have at that moment? There's going to be a point in 20 years, people are going to look back like, what a stupid fucking law this is.
Right. What an idiot.
Right. How stupid is that? Like there's new laws coming to California starting January 1st that are just mind-blowing that they would even waste the time to think about it, write it out, and make it a law. Like
True.
dumb ass shit.
Yeah.
Like you've been pulled over before, right?
Many times.
What's the first question they ask you? The very first thing they ask you, not what they're asking you for. What's the first thing they say to you when you roll your window down?
Do you know why I pulled you over?
Yeah. You know what the new law is? Cops are not allowed to ask that question. They have to tell you, I pulled you over because of blah, 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 blah. To negate any potential bullshit of your feelings being hurt in a traffic stop.
Sure.
Because when they say, no, I pulled you over, all these entitled little assholes.
Now, I think this is where you and I can get into a discussion, right? So as far as police officers are concerned, right? I think there are a definite huge population. Definitely there's a huge population of people who absolutely need policing, right? They not only need to be policed, but they also need the protection of police, right? But again, because human beings are who they are,
Flawed.
there have been absolutely numerous encounters where police officers have abused this power.
Sure.
right? So we can't blame it on either the public or police officers as a whole, because there are great police officers out there. I've met
I'd say more great than not.
Sure, but and I've met some great police, but I've also met some dickheads. Mm-hmm. I've also met officers who have been desensitized by their daily routines,
right,
by their daily encounters, and it's to be expected,
sure,
in that field, right? But once the problem is that once that desensitization happens, desensitization.
I don't know if that's right. That doesn't even sound right.
Yeah, it doesn't even sound right. But you guys get what I'm trying to say.
Desensitizing.
Desensitization.
We sound like George W. right now.
Huh?
We sound like George W. right now. Desensification.
We could be sounding like Biden right about now.
We could unsensify.
But once they've become desensitized, right? There should be that recognition. God dang,
Hey, calm down, Sleepy Joe.
Jesus Christ. There should be that recognition that, all right, now I have to be removed from this position. I have to remove myself from this position because I can no longer service this position well.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But there isn't. Right? It's because people become too complacent. They become absolutely comfortable in these positions. And they ride it out. Right? until they retire.
Or until they snap.
Sure.
Or until they do something that's somebody happened to be walking by and caught on their cell phone, and then it's over.
But this is in a perfect world. In a perfect world, an officer would recognize his inability to continue in that position.
Or there'd be somebody employed by the department that is responsible for recognizing said behavior.
But again, that's just more regulations, more regulatory positions. Do we want that? No, we want people to regulate themselves.
Right, but that'll never happen.
Yeah,
very few people in this world are
have that discipline.
as self-reflective as you and I.
Very few people in this world have that integrity.
Right. Sure.
So, but that's exactly what needs to happen. As soon as you find yourself unable to provide that service correctly, then you need to remove yourself.
Right.
No matter how comfortable you feel and complacent you've become in that position. Right. But that's not going to happen. So there are evils on both sides. There are evils from civilians, and there are evils from police officers. And then so I think a law like that can't be bad. If it's gonna eliminate the potential.
I'm not saying it's bad. What I'm saying is they felt the need to change how police officers approach you to mitigate any potential feelings being hurt as to why you got pulled over.
Right.
If you're driving 100 miles an hour down 7th Street and cop pulls you over, you know goddamn well why you got pulled over.
Sure.
But you got pulled over for speeding. Now the cop has to ask you, I pulled you over for speeding. No shit.
Well, I mean, again, anything to eliminate stupidity.
But that's the problem. That I don't think it does. I think in that situation, it's still like the cops are like, extreme hall monitors.
Absolutely,
right?
Dude.
So they're doing their job. You do something stupid on the road, you get pulled over, you're automatically mad because you got pulled over.
Sure.
Right? Then you have an attitude, and if you're some of these undisciplined, self-righteous little pricks out there, you immediately go to your phone's out and you say, badge number, you're harassing me. You're like, what?
But again,
what if I pulled you over because your trunk was on fire, you little prick?
One more time. I respect all police officers, right? But as a child, running the streets, at one point I was a hooligan, I was just a hoodlum, you know what I mean? So I've been on that side, right? I've been arrested, I've been billy clubbed, I've been pepper sprayed.
Because you were doing something wrong.
Because I was doing something wrong. But I absolutely understood those are the choices that I was making.
Right. You understood.
I understood. As a matter of fact, on the streets we understood where we were. We weren't trying to get people to accept our lifestyle.
Right.
The lifestyle was we're on the block and we're gonna conduct ourselves. We even spoke in code, right? People think that, like, you know, the different slangs that are, it was code.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it wasn't a cool thing. We weren't doing it because we were cool. You know, we were hoping nobody else understood what was being said. You know what I mean? So it was like, yo, you know, whatever you name it, whatever slang you've heard. At one point, it wasn't about trends and fads. It was about, we were communicating to ourselves, to our people that we wanted to communicate with, and blah blah blah. So there was an absolute separation between the street culture and normal culture,
right,
especially in the Samoan community,
right?
The Samoan
but you
community.
you knew the risks, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the risks were cops, good or bad, asshole or nice. That if you did something like that, you were gonna come across a cop at some point.
Sure.
Right? I've been watching a lot of these videos of like privileged people, not necessarily privileged teenagers, but 90% of the videos are teenagers.
Yeah.
Right? They get pulled over because they're driving drunk, right?
Right.
They immediately hop out of the car with their cell phones, asking, "You're harassing me. Why you pulled me over? I didn't do anything." Immediately starting an agitated situation, already off on the wrong foot.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
And then they come with the, "You can't touch me. I'm a minor. I can't get a ticket because I'm a minor." And the cops are like, you could tell just in the body language. You can only see the body cam. Just in the body language and in the size, the cops just like I want to fuck you up.
Sure.
But I can't.
But okay, on the flip side, that's what this morphed into. But you got to understand where it came from, right? So it came from a truly fringe way of living, right? It came from a truly outsider lifestyle, right? And then what police officers would do was they treated outsiders inhumane,
Right.
right? So it came from this thing morphed into this idiotic behavior today. But I was on the side of that fringe lifestyle that, you know, when so I'm gonna give you one story. We were standing, I was waiting for a bus, standing in front of Foster's Freeze, and I brought Aaron.
Damn.
We
Aged yourself. Foster free.
Yeah, we brought Aaron. Aaron was 4 or 5 years old at the time, and we were all waiting on the bus, and it was just me and a bunch of the homies. But I chose to bring Aaron. Cop whoops up on us. Sees a group of dudes standing on the street waiting on the bus, and swoops up on us. Because of course back then that gang thing, the gang unit. They want to, when they see a congregation of when they see a congregation of people in one place, and they look like they're up to no good. Like a bunch of us at times we were, but not on that day, right?
Right.
All of us. Everybody put your hands on the hood, and they even called. Yeah, they said bring that wannabe too, pointing at my brother Aaron, 4, 5 years old at the time, right? So again, this fringe lifestyle was lived, and then you have police officers. Of course, they're looking out for law-abiding citizens, and I got it. You know what I mean? I get it now as an adult. I get it, but at the time, we thought like, what are we doing?
Right.
Why us? Why now? Mm-hmm. I mean, because there are times when we deserve to be,
right,
rounded up like animals, but this time we weren't. We brought my brother, hoping that we could show him a good time. We're going to go to Del Amo Mall, whatever the case may be. I was 14, 15. Aaron was 4, 5, 6, somewhere around there. But we were just treated as if we didn't belong because of the way we looked.
Right.
So, as an adult, I get it. I understand why he did it.
So what happened in that situation?
Well,
did you guys nothing happened?
We got frisked. Mm-hmm. names were asked. We're like, yo, gave him our name. Where are you going? We gave him all the answers, because I wasn't trying to get my brother locked up. You know what I mean? We were just scared. We weren't even scared, but we were like a bunch of kids who were just didn't want to be bothered that day.
Right.
So of course we answered all the questions. He went on his way, but that's where this behavior originates from.
But also, if you take that scene and take it out of 1996,
actually it was 92.
Take it out of the 90s and put it in today.
Right.
That same situation.
Phones are out.
You're saying, "Oh, you're traumatizing my little brother.
Right.
You're picking on me because
Right.
I'm this." And it's a different world because of the fact that people see videos and they think that it's the right thing to do to fight a cop.
Right.
In this situation that we're talking about, they think it's acceptable to be disrespectful,
Right.
little shit.
Right.
Towards law enforcement.
Right.
And then they have the balls to sit there and wonder, why did he arrest me? I shouldn't have gotten arrested. It's like, you stupid ass. You pulled out a gun, whether it's a BB gun or not. You pulled out a gun and you waved it at him. You're lucky he didn't shoot your ass. Right?
Right.
And these videos get progressively worse. And every single time it gets worse, the less frequently the cop pulls out his weapon.
Sure.
Because you might as well take it away from him. You might as well take the guns off cops. Because they ain't going to fucking use it. Because the long-term problem of that person living or dying is a massive internal problem.
The reason I bring all of that up, though, is because it's kind of, even though it's morphed into absolute stupidity, idiocy, right? What it has done, the good it has done, is it's put police officers in absolute check.
Right.
It's put them in check to saying, hey, we do service. We are civil servants, and we are your civil servant. So it allows them, it obligates them actually. It obligates them to truly understand the law, right? It obligates them to truly understand, do I have the right to do this to this person, knowing the fight that they're going to put up, knowing the potential problems that I'll be going through, the potential investigations that I'll be going through, right? So I'm not saying that these people are in the right, but what I am saying is it had its dual purposes.
Sure.
Right? It's had an absolutely evil outcome, but it's also had a good outcome because it puts police officers. It's causing them to reflect.
Well, to be accountable, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Accountability.
But I also think that it's a detriment to the fact that a cop can pull you over, and you could not want to get a ticket that day, and shoot the fucking cop. Right?
Oh, now that's stupidity.
Shoot the cop because you felt that you were profiled, singled out, picked on.
No, at that point,
bullied,
you deserve death.
Whatever the case may be. But even then, there's so many stories out there where, cops get shot and then they find out who did it, and he's like, oh, well, he was picking on me. He pulled me over 3 times before this year because I was dealing drugs. I was beating my wife, and I was, had a warrant out. Well, you're a fucking scumbag.
Yeah.
He was doing his job.
You're a fucking dirtbag.
And you're an absolute piece of shit for doing what you did. And you just didn't want to deal with a cop that day.
Sure.
To this day, I walk into a store, if there's a police officer, I know he's double, second glancing me. I know it. I have the tattoos, I have the earrings, I wear the fucking Dodger shit. I get it. But not once in my life have I got pulled over or talked to by a cop, and never once have I been disrespectful. Because of the fact I know that I didn't do anything, and if you're going to be combative off the bat, it's the wrong foot.
But your ability to hold that respect for the cops in those moments, right? That is serviced you well, right? It allows things to play out as they should play out,
Right.
Because you have an awareness of who they are, what they're doing, and then who you are,
Right.
right? And then so I think your respect, your integrity at that moment, it allows for the best outcome.
It was,
right? And everyone needs to understand that, as opposed to feeling this sense of entitlement and moving according to that.
right.
And I mean, come on, it's stupid.
It's just like when those 4 cops pulled me over outside my house. I told this story before. They pulled me over. They saw the tattoos, and they asked me to get out of my car. I knew for a fact they couldn't ask me that question. And I wasn't going to be that guy that's like, do you have a warrant? Because that immediately puts them on the defensive. Mm-hmm. Then they're going to be looking for something.
Right.
If I happen to have a work knife in my trunk, they're going to ask me, what do you have this knife for?
Hey,
You know?
crazy. Okay.
And we ended up getting 4 more listeners out of our podcast because I asked about my tattoos. I said it's my podcast, and they all simultaneously went, "Oh shit," because they just looking at me
Right.
would not think that I backed the blue.
Right. Awesome. Hey, but to segue into a solution, right? So you
Cut off the internet.
huh?
Cut off the internet.
Not just cut off the internet. I mean, I wouldn't say cut off the internet, but what I will say is that people need to spend more time outside dealing with people, because when you deal with people, then you get to receive the treatment that is deserving of your
Sure.
output. Right?
Right.
And then you get to make the adjustments. And that's the problem with internet culture. People get to sit back behind these screens, behind these keyboards, and they get to do as they do, not experiencing the result. Right? And then so that being the case, you're never allowing yourself to make the adjustment that you need to make, having done this in real life,
Right.
having done this face to face,
Right.
with anyone. If you have an opinion, you're entitled to your opinion, but you're also obligated to receive the backlash. If you have an idea, you're entitled to that idea, but you're also obligated to receiving the result of other people's ideas in response to your own.
Right. Example, Bud Light, Target, Disney.
And we spoke before, right? Dana White, right? So Bud Light. Dana White obviously saw all the backlash that Bud Light was receiving, and then he has his own encounters with Bud Light.
He was on Theo Vaughn.
Yeah,
Amazing.
and I like that. I
Right.
really dug that.
Right.
I really dug that interview.
You know what I didn't know about that Mulvaney thing? They gave 22 different people their own can.
Sure, yeah, multiple people.
Right.
Right.
And
But-
not just for that reason.
But Mulvaney was the loudest, of
Right.
course. Massive following
because it was going to get the most reaction.
sure,
And they thought it was going to be a good one, but it wasn't.
right. But okay, so having knowing all of the backlash that Bud Light received from that incident, right? Dana White has his own relationship with Bud Light,
Right.
as a company. So he decided, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show my support for Bud Light because of the interaction I have with them.
Right.
I know them, I know them in the way where I'm comfortable allowing them to sponsor UFC events now.
Right.
Right. So he did that. And then there's somewhat of a change as
Right.
far as like accepting Bud Light again.
Well, it's also because, I mean, the shit that Bud Light does in the background that nobody knows about, that Dana White brought to the light.
Sure.
It's pretty impressive for the veteran stuff that they do.
Sure.
The homelessness that they try to, nip in the bud, different donations, different charity groups. I'll admit that I was, one of the ones that just flew off the handle with Bud Light, right?
Yeah.
Because of initially the exposure, I think it would have been a completely different result if they put out a list of the people that got specialized cans and maybe spotlighted Mulvaney. But the way that it seemed was Mulvaney was the only one that got canned. And maybe I jumped to a conclusion. I'm not going to say... that I'm
Maybe
gonna-
you fell victim to the internet culture.
Maybe.
you participated in that same thing we're speaking against.
Well, I mean, we all did.
But in all fairness, though, we're making adjustments, right? 'Cause
Right.
We do live in real life.
Right.
We do come face to face with other people, and we are open to ideas of other people, and we're willing to make the adjustments. So that's what makes
Right.
That's what makes for a better solution.
Right. And you can also admit a failure, right?
Sure.
I used to only drink Bud Light. But then again, that situation arises, and then I didn't drink any Bud Light.
I've always been a Coors Light fan, but I've always been a light beer fan. Not always, but since I've been on this beer trip, light beers. So Bud Light, I was drinking that for a little bit, and then I veered back to Coors Light because
Right.
Coors Light tastes better.
Again, I think it would have been a completely different outcome if they listed every single person that got a can. Maybe not for the reason, but listen.
You should do that next time, okay? But
listed every single person, because it wouldn't have been such. It made it seem like Mulvaney got that can because they were trans. Right. That's what it made it seem like, and that's what 64% of Bud Light's consumption from the middle of the country saw.
Yeah.
Which is
But again, we're preaching against this internet culture.
Right.
And then so
that's my point. I jumped on the bandwagon of fuck Bud Light. Right? I did because
you have now seen
because of what I saw. Well, I saw the interview with Dana White and Theo Vaughn. And granted, it wasn't like a serious, come to Jesus podcast, but in that moment, it
I don't
was.
know. There was certain parts of that, certain segments of that. I was like, yo, let's fix things.
I had no idea Bud Light did any of this kind of stuff. But when Dana White, it's funny you bring that up. I was going to bring that up about Dana White and Bud Light, but he said, if you don't want to drink Bud Light at a UFC event, don't fucking buy Bud Light at a UFC event.
Right.
It's just like, if you don't want to vote for Trump, don't vote for him.
Yeah.
That's the easiest thing to do.
I don't know. I mean, I'm a Vivek Ramaswamy fan right now.
But they're just going to remove Trump from the ballots. Like, people are going to see Trump and go for Biden? Like, are you out of your fucking mind? It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. It's like, that's the internet culture, right? That's exactly what that is.
Exactly. And then what the stupidity of people, behind these screens and keyboards, the stupidity is that there's no participation in the real world, right? And they don't understand that they are being used. They're being used by this governing body. These governing elites do you know how much thought they have put behind everything that's going on?
Oh, sure.
Right? I mean, there's not some puppet masters. I'm not saying that there's like puppet masters behind the behind in the shadows pulling strings. I'm not saying that, but people see what goes on, and then it's so easy for them to utilize you as a tool. You consumers, you influencers, you people who react to influencers. It's so easy for these people to see what's going on and utilize it for their purposes.
Right.
Right? It's a very reactionary process.
Well, the big thing is today, the Secretary of State of Maine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I heard about that.
Decided to remove Trump from the ballot.
Them too. They're like, Colorado,
not
let's follow
even
suit.
in your wheelhouse, lady. That's not even your fucking job. But she decided to make the call, and again, do they really think if they don't see Trump's name that they're going to vote Democrat?
Right.
It's way past that now. It's way past person.
Have you ever thought, right? So look how many people are still in the Republican presidential race, though. Right? Mm-hmm. There's a bunch. It's not a bunch. There's the four, and then Trump. Right. So it's pretty diluted.
Who's the four?
You've got
Haley, Ramaswamy. Oh, Haley, DeSantis.
Ramaswamy, DeSantis.
Yeah.
Right, and then you've got Trump.
Right.
So you've got these five still hanging on. So there is I don't know why they don't just remove Christie, or I don't know why they don't just remove Haley. I don't know why they don't just, just allow the three.
Well, because Haley's climbing. That's why she's not out. Chrissy's stagnant at like 1%.
1%.
Fat, miserable piece of shit.
Get that guy out, right?
Yeah.
But they're allowing this, the powers that be are allowing this diluted pool in the Republican race, right? And I don't understand why. But I guess we do understand why. Because if you dilute it, right, they're praying that Trump isn't at the top of that heap.
Right.
Right.
But even if I think you're giving them too much credit. I think that they think that the American people as a whole are dumb enough to think that if it's diluted, that the Republican Party can't come to a decision. Mm-hmm. So most lifelong conservatives, Republicans, are going to vote Democrat.
Don't think that we don't know, though. Don't think that we don't know that the same people who run the Democratic Party also run the Republican.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it's a total establishment move.
Right.
Right. And then there's few people that are peeking their heads out like Trump, who are just willing to pull the curtain back
Again.
and say, guys, look at the foolishness here.
Right.
Vivek Ramaswamy seems like that same kind of guy. Hey, guys, boom, look at the foolishness here. And then there's the guys who are just playing the game. Ron DeSantis, as great of a governor as he's been in Florida, I don't know that he's that guy willing to pull the curtain back.
I honestly think he's too young. My aunt had an idea about DeSantis that his kids are too young. Like he's not really 100% invested in being the president of the United States because of his children are still so young.
But then Vivek Ramaswamy, another young person. The difference being, Vivek Ramaswamy doesn't need the backing of these major. Doesn't even need the backing of the Republican Party. You know what I mean? As far as like his own well-being, he's worth what, $800 million is his net worth. The dude is pretty well off, right? He's pretty well off. He doesn't need anybody's money. The guy is funding his own campaign along with the small donors that he's collected over over the.
But I just think it's straight tomfoolery that they think that people are so stupid.
Sure.
That if they don't see Trump's name, that they're just going to be like, oh, Trump's not there? I'll vote for Biden. Because it has nothing to do. It's not even a face anymore.
Sure.
It's not even a face or a name. It is the fact that this establishment is fucking us 6 ways from Sunday.
Sure.
And not that Republicans do it the same, but it seems to hurt less when it was 45.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It seems like it was less painful overall.
Well, I mean, again, we have to, we can't be delusional because it was absolutely painful for some people.
Sure.
Like there is half of this country's population who were miserable under Trump.
But again,
right?
Not really responsible for their feelings.
Sure.
Like their feelings, it's the same as if 50% of the country's legs hurt. Doesn't bother me anything because that's how you feel.
Again, with some people, and it's this very entitled population that who's
that's the thing. Yeah, exactly.
Who were pretty well off.
Right.
They were pretty well off, and just their feelings were hurt.
Right.
And they're still pretty well off. Right. Even under this Biden administration, they're still pretty well off. So they don't face the struggles that. I mean, do you guys see? Are you guys seeing these videos that are coming out of people in New York in support of Trump?
Yeah.
I mean, these people from these very impoverished neighborhoods, they're like, "Yo, we see the difference. We see the difference in grocery prices, gas prices. We experience that hurt." And then you still have those people who are, well enough to.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter as much.
Right.
So they're like, we don't want that. We don't want that fucking dictator in office.
Right.
Whereas the rest of the world who are actually experiencing the pains in the pocket.
Right. You know what else too? Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's they're switching to the Trump side because they see, and Pennsylvania has always been a swing state,
Right.
and they see the fact that this administration went after your heaters, went after your furnace, went after your ceiling fans, went after your microwaves, gas stoves. Now they're going after your refrigerators. So trivial, the shit that they're like trying to put a leg on, right? Yeah. It's so trivial that makes it seem like they care about the environment, and they're just trying to like put a stamp on you.
Of credit, though. You got to give them a little bit of
credit. I will not.
Well, no. You got to give these people, these powers, these people in authority. You got to give them a little credit because they.
Do I?
Well, no. They're coding it. They're coding it in this.
With the veil of that they're concerned of the environment.
Exactly. But it's such a pretty veil, right? It's a veil that it displays this
maybe to the blind
false humanity.
Maybe to the blind eye.
Yeah, to the blind eye.
When something pops up on my phone that says Biden's going after your refrigerator because of the coolant is bad for the fucking ozone, fuck off.
How much of our population is the blind?
Oh,
fucking
right,
huge.
Well, they can give them credit. I'm not going to give them credit.
An enormous amount of the U.S. population and the population of Western civilization is blind. Comfortably blind.
Did you see that video of the? I don't know when it came out, but it's this couple walking away from the Capitol building on January 6th, and she's rubbing her eyes with a towel. And they're like, "What happened?" Somebody's like, "What happened?" She's like, "Oh, I got maced because we were storming the Capitol because it's a resurrection." And then they replay the video in the beginning. There's a fucking onion in the towel she's rubbing her eyes with.
Oh shit!
It's just like it's so fucking blatant.
It's a resurrection.
It's so fucking blatant that what they're doing is painting a false narrative of really what's going on.
Man, it's crazy.
It's
all of the footage,
unbelievable,
right? All of the footage that has come out and how it's painted the picture of like, wow, what a.
And it's like this person. I'll show you the video when we're done.
What a theatrical.
But this person
production
is the stereotypical liberal individual.
Yeah.
That person couldn't give a shit about a conservative policy if they wanted to.
Yeah, wild shit.
It's that meme with DiCaprio and that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and he goes, "There I am." They replayed it in slow motion. You see him, and there's a fucking onion in the towel that she's rubbing her fucking eyes with. Like, have you ever been maced?
It was
Yeah, I've been maced too, and there's zero chance you could keep your fucking eyes open enough.
With mace, pepper spray, you name it. Dude.
The foam, the gel, yeah, it's all been in my face. And there's no way you can be like this looking in the camera.
Yeah,
we stormed the Capitol, and it's a resurrection. Like, what the fuck? You think we're stupid?
First off, you fucking illiterate prick. It's an insurrection.
Yeah. Unbelievable. And people see this and don't question it. If that slow-mo's not there.
But again, all of this production, they are banking on the internet culture. They're banking on that. They're banking on the stupidity of it, the idiocy of it, right?
Yep.
Man, I think we've beat them over the head with it.
We knocked them out cold.
Knocked them motherfuckers out. And guess what time it is? Time for us to go to Jollibee's.
Jollibee.
I'm fucking hungry. I got 1 hour left. It's hour 71.
Damn.
Hour 71 of the 72-hour fast. Closing off 2023 with it. And with that,
we gone.